Sticking with the bushfires now, there are at least 60 fires burning across New South Wales, more than half are uncontained. Firefighters are hoping to take advantage of cooler and calmer conditions today before the weather deteriorates early next week. Joining me live from the New South Wales Rural Fire Service headquarters is Ben Shepherd. Ben, good afternoon to you. What sort of conditions can firefighters expect this afternoon?
Yeah, look, like we've seen over the last few days, we will start to see these winds start to strengthen. We'll see those higher temperatures, and already fires around Ebor we've just seen lifted to a watch and act level. And we are expecting further homes to come under threat across the course of the afternoon. So we're asking people across all these fire grounds the need to remain vigilant and the need to understand what you're going to do once these fires start to threaten, because we've got a long way to go before all these fires are under control, and without any meaningful rain we can expect these kind of flaring in each afternoon over the coming days and weeks.
Ben, you've just mentioned there's more areas, more homes under threat. How many more homes are under threat now?
Look, these fire grounds are so massive now, over 1 million hectares that we're dealing with across the state. So around the mid-coast, the Kempsey area, Taree, further up around the Coffs Harbour area. There continues to, as this fire moves out of the forest and onto private property, we are seeing fires move in and around homes. So we need everyone that is close to these fires, that they need to take that advice from firefighters on the ground, but they need to remain vigilant, because we just won't have all these fires contained in the next day or two, and we're likely to see more deteriorating weather mid this week. So it's going to be a problematic time for us until such time that we get significant rain across this state.
And we've heard assessment crews are being allowed in some of the more fire-affected areas. How many properties have we lost so far? What's the tally?
Yeah, look, across the state really since the beginning of this season now, we are up around that 400 mark. There have been obviously a number of homes lost in the past 24 hours, but again, there's such massive areas that these teams need to work across. And that's going to take days to complete, because it's not just homes, obviously, it's also we need to look at the infrastructure and sheds. So there's a massive body of work just in that area alone, and these fires are still burning, and we've got the risk of still further homes being lost in the current conditions, let alone what we might see once again towards the middle of this week. So there's a massive body of work in that itself.
With the fire burning at Colo Heights, northwest of Sydney, it fled to emergency level yesterday. Is there the risk that we could see this happen again?
Yeah, look, of course, and what we are concentrating our efforts today is in that area between Webbs Creek and Colo Heights. So it's an area where traditionally we have seen fires then jump and move into places like the Hornsby Shire, so into places like Maroota and the back of the hills there. So we're concentrating our efforts there just to try and close that plug in preparation for some deteriorating weather during the week. So there's still a fair bit going on that fire ground. The northern side of that fire ground, though, still continues to burn uncontained within the Wallamai. So there, again, there is literally days, if not weeks, of work on that fire ground alone, and it's just one of almost 70 that we continue to deal with.
So why is that area so difficult to contain?
Look, it's very remote, and the fire now over 100,000 hectares as well. So we've got to bring the fire back down to what we know as hard containment. So fire trails, rivers, roads, so all that has to actually allow that fire to come down. That way it makes it easier for us to try and extinguish at least the edges of that fire. But that fire alone now will be approaching at least 100 kilometres of edge that just on that one fire ground alone. And we aren't going to have that fire contained before we actually see the onset of this warm and windy weather, probably come Tuesday or Wednesday this week, and it will be hot. We are looking at temperatures once up into the mid to possibly high 30s, but it's the wind that we're waiting to see with the Bureau, how strong that forecast will be. But there is no doubt that we are seeing fires flare and run in little to no wind, just with the landscape being so incredibly dry.
And Ben, if we just look back at the resources, we know we've been bringing in interstate firefighters to help out on the ground. Is there still a chance that we may be bringing in international firefighters other than New Zealand? Yeah, look, that of course is a consideration. We look at that through the National Resource Centre. Look, fortunately today we've seen at least some extra assistance in another very large air tanker, a DC-10, arrived into Richmond this morning, so that is most welcome. But the overall difference is actually made by homeowners, because even if we bring in an extra 1,000 firefighters, we still don't have enough trucks and firefighters for every single home in New South Wales. And that's why, once again, we are encouraging people this weekend to use it to
prepare their homes, to ensure that they are cleared, to ensure that there are no leaves in the gutters, and to ensure that things like branches are trimmed back, because they make the ultimate difference. More than 90% of homes are lost due to ember attack, and we know that that is streets back. So we need everyone to be aware of that. We need everyone to play their part. This will be a long and protracted fire season. We've seen it already, obviously, take lives and take homes. We need people to understand that risk. It's been really good to see the community respond appropriately to that increased risk, and we're seeing really good levels of preparation, so let's maintain that.